Just how expected was this pick?
Yeah, Ashley, those of us who have been following the 2020 presidential campaign have been talking about this combination for a long time, since Kamala Harris was in the midst of her own presidential bid. But she insisted she was always running for the top spot and not for the VP slot. But as early as last spring, people talked about the idea of combining Biden's steady hand, his experience, with Harris's propensity to draw really diverse, enthusiastic crowds, especially those that skew a little bit younger. They wanted to give people an opportunity to be excited about something, and that is going to be something that is going to be so important heading into the final stretch of this U.S. campaign. It's been tough to gauge enthusiasm, Ashley, for these top two candidates on their own with the absence of those big traditional political rallies that we have. And it's also going to be a little bit more difficult for Americans to cast their ballots in many places this year because of the coronavirus pandemic and the extra hurdles that will be involved. So Joe Biden, in making this selection, really giving voters an opportunity to vote for something historic, something they can get excited about. As you mentioned, the first black woman on a U.S. presidential ticket and also the first woman of South Asian descent.
And has it been a popular decision so far in terms of the reaction we're seeing from Democrats?
If you look at the establishment Democrats, the Clintons, for example, Barack Obama, they have praised Joe Biden's selection. They feel this is a really good opportunity to balance out some of the things that Joe Biden brings to the ticket, especially that level of enthusiasm. Joe Biden sees himself as a transitional candidate, not a transformational candidate. And this is an opportunity for him to do something transformational for the party, which, of course, many Democrats have praised. But it hasn't been universal praise for the choice of Kamala Harris. A lot of progressives feel they got left out of this pick. They wanted to see somebody who was a little bit more aligned with the things that they were proposing for the Democratic Party. We're talking about people with policies along the lines of Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and also there are many progressives who, as we are in the midst of this conversation about race and police reform here in the United States, aren't too thrilled with the idea of having a former top state law enforcement official. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of California in that role. They say it's a little bit tone deaf given the movement that is happening here in the United States right now. So there's been a good deal of praise for this pick from Democrats, but certainly there's some rebuttal to it as well.
Yeah, and what about on the other side of the aisle? I see President Trump wasted no time getting stuck into the pick.
Yeah, he had a pretty quick opportunity, Ash, to respond to the choice of Kamala Harris in that briefing that he gave at the White House this afternoon. And we've also heard some top House Republicans, other members of the Republican Party, come up with the same lines of attack. And this is something we can expect to hear over the next 90 days or so. They are really trying to paint Kamala Harris's record as too liberal, outside of the mainstream, and that she is dragging Biden to the radical left. This is a criticism we heard from President Trump and also a number of top Republicans in the House so far this afternoon. They are going after her record as the Attorney General in California. And they're also trying to level some criticisms that she would align with some policies that are too far to the left, like raising taxes, too much big government. And also, and this is an appeal, especially within the Republican Party, saying that she would try to get rid of the Second Amendment, which, of course, deals with gun owners' rights. So certainly a number of criticisms that are being leveled by Republicans against Kamala Harris. President Trump also said that she, and this is a criticism he has leveled at a lot of women, including Hillary Clinton back in 2016, he described her as nasty, and he was referring to the very first Democratic presidential debate in which Harris took aim at Joe Biden, who was the front runner at the time. President Trump said he didn't like the way that she spoke to Joe Biden. So certainly some old and new criticisms against Kamala Harris. We'll see how the attack lines start to form, as now there are two totally formed tickets to go out one another in the home stretch, Ashley.
Karin Caifa live in Washington. Appreciate your analysis. Thank you.